why you freeze when speaking English, and how to stop. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Easy English. I'm really happy you're here today. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever understood English perfectly, but when it was your turn to speak, your mind suddenly went blank? You knew the words, you understood the question, you even knew the answer, but somehow you just couldn't speak. If that has ever happened to you, I want you to know something. You are not alone. Millions of English learners around the world experience exactly the same feeling. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest challenges English learners face. Why do we freeze when speaking English? And more importantly, how can we overcome that fear and start speaking with confidence? Before we begin, I want you to remember one simple truth. This episode is not about speaking perfect English. It's about having the courage to speak. Because confidence doesn't come first. Confidence grows every time you open your mouth and try. Now, imagine this. You're standing in a clothing store. The salesperson smiles and asks, "Can I help you?" You know exactly what you want to say. You want to say, "Yes, I'm looking for a blue shirt." But suddenly, your heart starts beating faster. Your mind becomes completely blank. You start thinking, what if my grammar is wrong? What if I pronounce a word incorrectly? What if everyone looks at me? What if someone laughs? And because of those thoughts, you say nothing. Or maybe you smile politely. Or you switch back to your native language. Does this sound familiar? It happens to so many people. But here's the surprising truth. The biggest problem is usually not your English. The biggest problem is fear. Many learners believe they need perfect grammar before they can start speaking. But that's simply not true. Think about how a child learns to speak. A child doesn't wait until every sentence is perfect. A child makes mistakes every single day. Children pronounce words incorrectly. They use the wrong grammar. Sometimes they even invent words. But they keep talking. And because they keep talking, they become fluent. Learning English works exactly the same way. Now, let's talk about something that many people don't like to admit. Sometimes we're not afraid of English. We're afraid of people. We're afraid of what others might think. Maybe someone laughed at your pronunciation. Maybe a classmate corrected you in front of everyone. Maybe a friend smiled when you made a mistake. Maybe a relative said, "Your English isn't good enough." Those moments can stay in your mind for years. After that, every time you try to speak English, you remember those experiences. Your confidence becomes smaller. Your fear becomes bigger. But let me ask you something. Should one person's opinion decide your future? Should one laugh stop you from achieving your dream? Of course not. The people who laugh at your mistakes are not the ones building your future. You are. Every person who speaks English fluently today was once a beginner. Every confident speaker has made mistakes. The difference is simple. They didn't stop. They kept speaking. They kept learning. And little by little, their confidence grew. So today, I want you to make one promise to yourself. Don't let fear control your voice. Don't let embarrassment steal your dream. Speak. Even if your English isn't perfect, speak. Even if your pronunciation isn't perfect. Because every sentence you speak is another step toward becoming a confident English speaker. And that's exactly what we're going to learn together today. Now, let me tell you something that might surprise you. Many people think they can't speak English because they don't know enough grammar or vocabulary. But in reality, that's often not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that they are afraid to speak. Let me ask you a few questions. Can you understand English movies or YouTube videos? Can you read English messages on your phone? Can you understand simple English conversations? Can you answer grammar questions correctly? If your answer is yes to even some of these questions, then you already know more English than you think. So why is speaking still difficult? Because speaking is a skill, and every skill becomes better with practice. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. The first time you ride, You may feel nervous. You may lose your balance. You may even fall down. But do you stop forever? No. You get up, try again, and slowly become better. Speaking English works the same way. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. Now let's talk about something many people experience, but rarely say out loud. Sometimes we care too much about what other people think. Imagine you're at a family gathering. Someone asks you to say a few words in English. You know you can do it. But then a thought enters your mind. What if I make a mistake? What if everyone laughs? What if they think I'm not intelligent? Because of those thoughts, you stay silent. Now imagine another situation. You're attending a job interview. The interviewer smiles and asks, "Could you please introduce yourself?" You practiced your introduction many times at home. You spoke confidently in front of the mirror. But at that moment, your hands begin to shake. Your heart beats faster. Your mouth becomes dry. Suddenly, you forget everything. Not because you don't know English, but because fear has taken control. This happens to thousands of English learners every day. And here's something very important to understand. Fear is normal. Every successful speaker has felt nervous at some point. The difference is that they didn't allow fear to stop them. Now, think about this. Have you ever met someone who speaks English fluently? Did you ever think, "I wish I could speak like that"? What you see today is their result. What you don't see is their journey. You didn't see the mistakes they made. You didn't see the embarrassing moments they experienced. You didn't see the days they felt like giving up. Every fluent speaker has a story of struggle. The only difference is that they kept practicing. Now, here's another truth that can change the way you learn English. Many learners spend years studying grammar. They memorize hundreds of vocabulary words. They understand books, movies, and podcasts. But when someone says, "Let's have a conversation in English," they suddenly become quiet. Why? Because knowledge alone doesn't create confidence. Action creates confidence. Every conversation makes you stronger. Every mistake teaches you something new. Every time you speak, your fear becomes a little smaller. So, don't wait until you feel confident before you speak. Start speaking today. Confidence will grow along the way. From today, I want you to change one sentence in your mind. Instead of saying, "My English isn't good enough," say, "My English is improving every day." That one small change can make a big difference. Remember, progress is more important than perfection. The goal isn't to speak like a native speaker tomorrow. The goal is to become a little better than you were yesterday. And if you keep taking those small steps every day, one day you'll realize that speaking English no longer feels scary. It feels natural. So now the question is, how do we overcome this fear? The answer's simple, not easy, but simple. Practice, not once a week. Not only when you feel confident. Practice every single day, even if it's only 5 minutes. Many people wait for the perfect time to start speaking English. They think, "I'll start when I know more grammar. I'll start when my pronunciation becomes perfect. I'll start when I learn more vocabulary." But that perfect day never comes. If you keep waiting, you'll keep delaying your progress. The best day to start speaking English is today. Now let me share 5 simple habits that can completely change your English. The first habit is speak English every day. Don't wait for a speaking partner. Speak to yourself. Talk about your daily activities. For example, I'm making breakfast. Today, I'm going to work. The weather is beautiful today. Simple sentences spoken every day will build your confidence much faster than only studying grammar. The second habit is stop trying to be perfect. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is the goal. If someone understands your message, you've already succeeded. Don't be afraid of small grammar mistakes. They don't stop communication. Silence does. The third habit is think in English. Instead of translating every sentence from your native language, try thinking directly in English. When you wake up, think, good morning. When you're hungry, think, I'm hungry. When you're walking outside, describe what you see in English. These small exercises train your brain to use English naturally. The fourth habit is read aloud. Choose a short article, a story, or even the subtitles from a video. Read slowly, then read it again with confidence. This improves your pronunciation, fluency, and speaking rhythm. The fifth habit is celebrate every small success. Don't compare yourself with someone who has been speaking English for 10 years. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. If today you spoke one more sentence than yesterday, that's progress. Be proud of it. Now, let's practice together. Repeat after me. I can speak English. I am learning every day. I am not afraid of making mistakes. My confidence grows every time I speak. I believe in myself. Very good. Keep saying these sentences every day. They will remind you that confidence is built through practice. Before we finish, I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. There are 2 versions of you. The first version stayed silent because of fear. The second version spoke English every day, made mistakes, learned from them, improved little by little. Which person do you want to become? The choice begins today. Remember this, people may laugh for a moment, but your success can last a lifetime. Never let someone else's opinion become more important than your own dream. Your dream deserves your courage. Your future deserves your effort. Every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. The difference is that they kept going. And you can do the same. So make yourself one promise today. I will speak English every day. I will not be ashamed of my mistakes. I will keep learning. I will never give up. Believe in yourself. Take one small step today, then another tomorrow. One day, you'll look back and realize that the fear which once stopped you has disappeared. And you'll be proud of yourself because you never gave up. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I truly hope this conversation gave you the confidence to take the next step in your English journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow Speak Easy English and share it with someone who is afraid to speak English. Until next time, keep learning, keep smiling, and most importantly, keep speaking English. See you in the next episode.